Hi guys, welcome to test drive of the Solo Crown, and today we're going to be talking about wheel settings. Got the wheel setup here, Logitech G PRO. I'll show you guys the best settings I have for the game. And first off, let's talk about how this all works. So if I go over here and I'll move my camera to the right, all you have to do to first set up your wheel is go to obviously your PC device, and I assume this is the same for console. It will probably be about around the same. Now the first thing I want to note is that I have 900 degree steering. Now, you can change this to whatever you want. However, what you might find you might need to change if you want to use a different maximum angle is your sensitivity, which I'll go over in a second. But first, you have your overall vibration here, overall force, self-aligning, tire load, self-centering, and wheel recentering. Now, I'm going to go through all these as best as I can. I think the fact that I'm not really an in-depth wheel person, I might be able to make this more relatable for you guys on how to understand it. So, let's start off. First, overall vibration. Now, if you have the Logitech G923 or the G Pro like I do and you're on Xbox or PC, unfortunately True Force isn't working in the game. And True Force definitely makes this wheel feel a lot better, because what happens is that you'll feel the vibration of the engine or the road in the actual wheel's vibration very well. It's good on the G923, but it's even better on the G Pro, which is the direct drive wheel. And if you want to find out any other bugs for wheels, I'll leave a link in the description below for that little setup page. So now let's go over all of the forces that we have right now. Overall force is basically the scale's overall force racking of your wheel. Now it can either give your wheel a heavier or a lighter feel. Now I'm running 8 Newton meters on this wheel. You can program that in G HUB, and I'll show my G HUB settings at the end of the video. But basically overall force again scales that force of whether your wheel wants to feel heavier or lighter. If I increase this, it'll be a lot harder to turn. You'll feel a lot more of the lower forces below it. And if you lessen it, it'll feel lighter, and all the forces below it will obviously change as well. So I have that set to 85 because I like to have my wheel, I don't want to have it too heavy where it's harder to do kind of stairs, and I don't want to have it too light where I don't feel enough of what the car is doing. Now, self-aligning torque is probably the most important one. So the self-aligning torque is the force applied to the vehicle's wheels that make you turn left or right, depending on parameters like velocity or friction. Now, this force is transferred to the steering wheel, and it makes the driver's arms feel, so you know what you're doing when you're counter steering or fixing the angle of the vehicle. Now, if you feel like your wheel is too violent in your counter steering, like you'll see it throw back a lot faster, or it's too heavy when it gets thrown back, and I'll show you guys that in action, then you want to lower this value. If you want to feel more of the forces and you feel like it's not counter steering fast enough, then you increase your self-aligning torque. And again, I have mine set to 77. I think that's a very nice sweet spot for the game. So tire load is the force applied to the wheel, suspensions, and steer depending on the velocity of the vehicle. So it's a constant effect, so add constant force to the wheel when you're turning at high speeds, low speeds, whether you're drifting or whatever. Now, if you feel like the steering wheel is too hard to turn while you're doing these high speed turns or short turns, whatever, you want to lower it. Now, if you feel like your wheel's too loose, it's way too easy to turn, you want to increase that tire load setting. And I have mine set to 82 because I want to make sure, because again, I think that's a pretty good sweet spot. You don't want to have it too high or too low as well. Now, self-center is a bit weird, and I have it very low, and I'll explain to you why. It's like an artificial effect that I don't think pairs well if you decide to have it on for too long. Now, in a real car, the caster angle and the friction of the tire will make the steering wheel try to go back to neutral position when accelerating, braking, or steering. So what I mean is that obviously if you're parked and your wheel's all the way turned to the left and you start accelerating, you'll notice what will happen is your wheel will turn to the center as it would in real life. Now, if the force that tries to bring the wheel back to the position is too violent, you want to reduce it. If you find that it's not going back to center quick enough, you want to up the value. However, there's like this artificial thing behind it that I can't really explain, which is why I have it set to low. You'll find that it still goes center, but it feels a lot more realistic. And this also means drifting as well, because drifting, a huge part of it is your acceleration and your braking and how you control your throttle. So self-centering would also help with drifting. I have it set to 14. Wheel recentering force, it doesn't really matter. It's just how quickly the wheel resets back to 0. So for example, if you're in a race and your wheel's already turned to the left, if you want to see your wheel violently snap back to center, by all means set it to 100, but you probably don't want that, and you should have it set to 25, maybe even lower sometimes. But next thing I want to talk about is sensitivity, which I will have to explain here. If we go down, you have steer left and steer right. Now, I don't touch, I want to make sure my dead zone's 0. Saturation is I always leave at 1. I don't really feel a need to change it. I feel like if I change my steering wheel max angles, which I'm at 900 now, I feel like if I change it, I need to reduce the saturation as well as the sensitivity, but we'll talk about that later. Now, sensitivity is really important. I have mine set to 1.4. Now, someone told me on the G923 on console, they're actually running -2, I think, or -1, which is a bit weird. So I don't really know the differences between plugging this wheel into your console or your PC. But nonetheless, I think he's something that you guys should do. And just to make sure I'm not on that side of the screen, I think I might have blocked it for you guys. But 1.4 steering dead zone 0 saturation. And what that means is if we back out into the game here, we might need to find some lights, which I will do right now. And by the way, if you do change your steering angle, or if you're using the one I have, but you find that, for example, your wheel doesn't turn enough, all you have to do is adjust your sensitivity. If you feel like it doesn't turn enough and it should turn more based on the amount of degrees you're inputting, increase your sensitivity. If you feel like it's doing too much, decrease your sensitivity. Saturation is how long it basically takes to get from one end to the other based on the steering input. That's the best way I can dumb it down and explain it, but it doesn't hurt to test out different values for yourself if you find the ones that I have don't work. Let's continue. So what I'd like to make sure when I'm driving is that one rotation, or just about half rotation like this before your arms cross over, so you'll see me do this, I should be able to do most turns at this angle. Anything above is mainly for drifting. So that little portion, you can see there's very slight wheel movement. It turns, but there's very slight wheel movement at this angle. And that's what I feel like I like the most. And it's in real life as well. Most of the turns I should be able to do with that. Anything else beyond is for tight turns. Now, let's talk about how to drift and show you guys the wheel. Now, if I turn this all the way to the left and I start accelerating, that is self-centering, and that's very important. If I have the wheel turn like this and I do that, that is also the tire load coming to play with also the self-aligning torque. Now, putting that all together, you get this. Now, traction control is set to 0. So you can see, can I at least hit that? You'll be able to tell. Now, throttle control is pretty important. You can get away flooring it like I'm doing right now. But you'll find if you're more smooth with throttle, like halfway, 75%, and if you let go of the throttle, you'll stop going forward. I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. Like so. Let it swing back. Hit the drift. Hold it. Flooring it so it actually continues to drift. Again. Like so. Now, some cars can drift and some cars can't drift. Or, well, they can drift, it's just very hard to do the drifts in. So I'll do this again back down the mountain. Oh, I might have let it snap out a bit too far there. But we'll do this again. I'll clutch dump it. There we go. And there's some cars here I can try and explain as well how to do drifts in some of the recent videos. Here we go again. Like so. Let it swing back again. Let it swing out a bit too far, but corrected it. Like so. And that's basically my favorite wheel settings. Now, let me try and explain to you guys how to do the SL65 drift that you saw in a con video. Now, you see, there's only one issue to this. I actually don't own the SL65 yet. I'm a very low level. Unfortunately, work has gotten me missing out on the whole game. But let's go to the track, which is located on Aptly Chow. It's on the bottom of the map, actually where your onboarding was. It's a racetrack where the helipad is, or, well, yeah, helipad is, that is the correct word. But I can try and attempt to do it in the Camaro. No promises, but I'll try. All right, so let's see how I do. This car's a bit different than the SL65, but let's see. So turning more, flooring it because we want to increase the angle. And I messed up on that. Not the smoothest. Not the smoothest one, but I feel like we could get it. You probably won't be able to see my wheel inputs or my pedal inputs, but I don't have a second camera. Maybe I should work on getting that so it's easier to explain, but we'll try this again. All right, so again, watch my speed. 140, swing out, floor it. Need to let go of the throttle every now and then so we can hold this. Get ready for the harder turn. Like so, get ready for the swing back. Not the best, but I'll take that. And if I can find I think there's like a circle area on this track as well. It's actually a perfect, like, funny enough, in real life, this is a driving school track. So you can learn a lot here. I think I can show you guys an example of, I wonder how, okay, this might be a good example. Now, you can learn a lot here on force feedback. Now, I'll show you guys what I mean. On a piston second, you can notice higher speed, I'm putting more force on the wheel to put it straight. Now hold on the throttle. I'm gonna let go of the throttle and we'll see what happens to the car to reduce the speed. You see how you go further out? I'll do that again. So, let me hold it. Flooring it. If I keep the wheel as it is, and I reduce, I go away from the sensor. There's a reduced throttle, you'll find you'll slide further out from what the direction you're going in is. I hope I made this explain, because like I said, I'm not like the perfect guy to be explaining this, but I think because I'm not the perfect guy, it'll be more relatable. But I'll do this on the outside loop here. Here we go. So if I keep it, floor it, and I stop, you see how I kind of deviated away? That's basically the best I can explain it. But the thing is, every car drifts differently. Whether you're driving the other Mustang, you'll find that, I think it's the GT 500, you'll find that that one's really hard to drift. If you drive, for example, a Garrett RS, that one's totally different in this different style. Let's see if I can find another vehicle or test drive one to show you guys. Oh, and by the way, my wheel settings for Logitech, if I go here, it's for you guys, you can see operating 900 degrees. Sensitivity I have set to 50. Dampener I have set to 10. Again, strength, as I said, 80 millimeters. Force feedback filter at 11. True force audio effects I have it set to 25. They're just not really implemented yet in TDUSC. There's a bug for them. Brake force, these are all my settings as well. Don't really, these are more personal and subjective, but I think the wheel one is the most important. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is buy, well, I can't afford it because two things. As you can clearly see, I'm not high enough level, and I'm also don't have enough money. But the SL65. Now, I won't have enough time, whoops, to get to the drift area. Maybe I can. I'll try it. Okay, so 33 seconds to pull off this drift. No guarantees. I'm rushing it. I'm rushing it. Here we go. Can I do it again? Oh, I love this car. Yes, 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 yes. And flipping it back. I choked it. I was in a rush. I choked it. But as you can see, look how different the drifting was compared to that. And obviously that's going to change for every single vehicle. I mean, we got the AMG GTR, which I will also see if I can get to that same drift spot within the same amount of time. Let's see. Okay, so similarly, 30 seconds. Let's see how I can do. No guarantee. Here we go. Oh, I might have brought this one out a little bit too. I did it. But you see, if I hit it, now I'm just choking it. But let me head over to that same Mustang I was telling you guys about, just so I can explain it. Okay, so we got the GT 500 here, which I will go for a test drive. One thing I do think, it's using the same exhaust note as the other vehicle, the other Mustang, which isn't really true. Sorry, startup. Anyways, so See what I mean? It is not the same at all. This is a sidewalk killer. It is a sidewalk killer. And look how easy it was for me to do those turns. Guys, I can't. It's literally a sidewalk killer. Maybe I'll get used to it, but you can get the sense that basically it's not the same. Let's see how I do. So second gear. I couldn't save it. This car, I don't know what it is. I mean, let's go and test the other Mustang here, the GT350, which I think this is the one with the sound file that needs to be fixed. Yeah, this car shouldn't actually sound like the regular V8 Mustang. It'll have a different exhaust note to it, so hopefully Killtron can fix that. I mean, they've done well with sounds, so it'd be nice if the had improved sounds anyways. Also, this one should have the dynamic indicators. So Kiloton, you know what to do. Okay, so there we go. Second gear again. Let's do it. Well, I went a lot wider than I thought. But as you can see, it is a lot different, no? Let's try the Ford GT. And we actually got people on the track here as well, which is pretty funny. So what I'm gonna do, let's see. Can we drift it? There we go. Not the same. Also, I forgot to mention one thing. The wheel settings I have mean you don't have the wheel rocking back. You know when your wheel goes yeah, it won't happen on this. Let's now talk about using this wheel setting in the city. Okay, so the important thing about this wheel setup is that you should be able, in theory, to do 3 things in this game without having to change anything: drifting, city driving, and racing. So let me show you city driving now, because again, 90-degree steering is what you want to use, and I don't have to force it. So do a nice little turn here. We'll do another turn here so you can see in action. So you see how tight turns? You don't need to do full, what, like, you know what I mean, full 900-degree lock. Whoops, I went to fourth, but not to worry. We'll do it again. Turn here. This one, because it's at an angle, you need to do it. But most of the turns, all it takes, like in real life, and don't, compared to Steam Demo, this wasn't possible. That's one of the things I was telling you about for wheel feel. Let's take this thing to the track though, just so I can do one more drift and also show racing in terms of use the line. In fact, I might actually get the Jaguar for that, but we'll go for another drift there again. All right, so put it in second. There we go. Let the wheels snap back. There we go. Let it straighten out a bit. Mess that one up, but close enough. Let's go to get the Jaguar and show basically track usage. Or in fact, we should just do a race. Oh my god, PTSD. This is the race I lost in. That's what I think I got DNF in. So you know I can't let that happen again. Let's see. Well, basically we've got a tight turn coming up right now. I should not have to cross my arms over. As you can see, I'm just gonna have to go on the outside here. All right, we go. Like I said, tight turns. Gotta be able to do it without crossing your arms over. Otherwise, it's GG. I mean, this Audi is pretty good off the line. I overestimated that one. There we go. I think there's only one race where I definitely need to cross my arms over, and that's because it's literally like a turn like this. Alright, he's got last corner coming up, I'm pretty sure. I do understand if you see my racing line is a bit messed up. I promise you I'm a better drifter and cruiser and driver than I am a racer. Anyways, redemption arc from TD Connect. Those are just basically the whole wheel in action in terms of how much you should be able to want to spin it and everything. I think I've covered everything. I've covered cruising, most of the drifting features, how each setting works, at least you can understand it better. I'm gonna show you guys one more drifting clip of me just doing some drifting, and that's the end of the video. Okay, here we go. Let's start it from here. There we go, swing out. And I'm gonna have to swing back in. There we go. Down the mountain. I wish superchargers were louder. You could just about hear it. There we go. Just gonna swing back. I'll try it in third. Here we go. Nope. Oh man. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope this wheel settings video does help you out. See you guys in another video. I'm Max7. Can I hit this? I guess so. I'll see you guys in another video. I'm out. And one more for peace. Yes. I'll see you guys in another video. I'm out. Peace. I hope it helped.